Have you ever faced a challenge that seemed completely impossible? A moment where you felt small, outnumbered, and on the brink of defeat? Today, we journey back in time to one of the most pivotal moments in Islamic history. A story that teaches us how faith can move mountains and how a handful of believers, with Allah's help, can triumph against all odds. This is the story of the Battle of Badr. Imagine the scene. It's the 17th of Ramadan, just 2 years after the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers migrated from Makkah to Medina. For 13 long years in Makkah, they had endured unimaginable persecution. They were mocked, beaten, and tortured, all for believing in the oneness of Allah. The migration to Medina offered a fresh start, a chance to build a community founded on justice and faith. But their enemies, the powerful Quraysh of Makkah, were not ready to let them live in peace. They continued to threaten the new Muslim state, harassing them and plotting their destruction. It all came to a head when news reached Medina of a large Quraysh trade caravan, led by the shrewd Abu Sufyan, returning from Syria laden with wealth. This wasn't just a caravan. It was the economic engine funding the war against the Muslims. Rasulullah saw an opportunity to intercept it, not for personal gain, but to strategically weaken the enemy that sought to extinguish the light of Islam. A small force was assembled. This was supposed to be a minor expedition, but destiny had something far greater in store. Abu Sufyan, sensing the danger, cleverly rerouted his caravan and sent an urgent message to Makkah for reinforcements. The Quraysh, fueled by years of pride and animosity, responded with a massive army. What started as a plan to intercept a caravan had now escalated into a full-blown confrontation. The stage was set for a battle that would forever be etched in the annals of history, the Battle of Badr. Let's paint a picture of the two armies. On one side, the Muslims. Only 313 men. Many of them were fasting. They had just 2 horses and about 70 camels which they had to share, taking turns to ride. Their weapons were basic, their provisions scarce. They were a small, humble group of believers. On the other side, the Quraysh. A force of 1,000 well-equipped warriors gleaming in their armor, accompanied by a cavalry of 100 horses. They were confident, arrogant, and certain of a swift and brutal victory. From a purely worldly perspective, the outcome was obvious. The Muslims stood no chance. But their true strength wasn't in their numbers or their weapons. It was in their hearts. Their strength was their unshakable faith in Allah and their love for His messenger. The night before the battle was not a night of fear, but a night of prayer. The Prophet Muhammad stood in devotion, his hands raised to the heavens, pleading with his Lord. With tears streaming down his face, his cloak slipping from his shoulders, he cried out, "O Allah, if this small band of believers is destroyed today, there will be none left on this earth to worship you." His heartfelt prayer was answered. Allah revealed a verse in the Quran that would echo through eternity. And Allah had already given you victory at Badr while you were few in number. So fear Allah. Perhaps you will be grateful. Imagine the impact of these words on the believers. Their hearts, once filled with apprehension, were now filled with a divine courage and tranquility. They knew they were not fighting alone. As dawn broke, the battle began in the traditional Arab way with a series of duels. 3 of the Quraysh's finest champions, Utbah, his brother Shayba, and his son Walid, stepped forward, challenging the Muslims. From the Muslim ranks emerged 3 lions: Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Prophet's cousin; Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib, the Prophet's uncle; and Ubaidah ibn al-Harith. The clashes were swift and decisive. Hamza and Ali defeated their opponents with powerful strikes. Ubaidah was wounded but, with the help of his companions, secured victory. This stunning opening duel sent a shockwave through the Quraysh army. Their confidence was shaken. The Muslims' morale soared. Then the full battle erupted. The 1,000-strong Quraysh army charged, expecting to overwhelm the small band of Muslims, but they encountered something they could not comprehend. The Muslims fought with a valor and steadfastness that defied logic. And they were not alone. Allah sent reinforcements that the enemy could not see. The Quran describes this miraculous event. When you asked help of your Lord and He answered you, "Indeed, I will reinforce you with 1,000 angels," following one another. Many of the companions later recounted seeing mysterious figures on horseback, dressed in white, striking down the enemy. The Quraysh warriors were thrown into chaos, fleeing in terror from an invisible force they could not fight. It was a clear sign that this was no ordinary battle. It was a divine intervention. By the time the dust settled, the result was astonishing. The mighty Quraysh army was utterly defeated. More than 70 of their leaders and warriors were killed, including some of Islam's most bitter enemies, like the infamous Abu Jahl. Another 70 were taken captive. On the Muslim side, only 14 men were martyred, their names forever honored as the heroes of Badr. The news of this incredible victory spread like wildfire across Arabia. The small community of believers, once seen as outcasts, were now recognized as a formidable force, protected and guided by Allah Himself. Badr wasn't just a military victory. It was a spiritual earthquake. It was the day Allah distinguished truth from falsehood, the day He fulfilled His promise to the patient and the faithful. So what are the timeless lessons of Badr for us today? In a world where we often feel overwhelmed by challenges, where our efforts seem small and insignificant, Badr reminds us that true victory comes from Allah. It teaches us that sincerity, prayer, and trusting God are more powerful than any worldly advantage. It shows us that when we stand for truth with courage and unity, even the impossible becomes possible. The story of the 313 at Badr is not just a historical account. It is a source of endless inspiration. It's a powerful reminder that no matter how daunting our struggles may seem, with faith and perseverance, we are never truly alone or outnumbered. This was the first great victory of Islam, but the journey was far from over. Join us in our next episodes as we explore the lessons from the Battle of Uhud, the ingenuity of the Battle of the Trench, and the ultimate triumph of the conquest of Makkah. Each story holds profound wisdom for our lives today. If you found this journey into our rich history inspiring, please like this video and share it with your friends and family. Let's spread this knowledge together. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the epic stories that shaped our world. Thank you for watching.